we're going to be looking at when we compare and contrast different prices of different items and trying to find the best buy so I can get the best product at the best price. We're talking about apples here. Here we've got 2 apples for $2.88, 3 apples for $4.44, and 4 apples for $5.54. So there's different prices and there's also different quantities of apples here. I want to find the deal that gives me the best price, so the lowest price. So what I'm going to do is calculate the price of each apple, so 1 apple. So in the first case, divide it by 2, so because this is the price for 2 apples. So simply divide it by 2 and we can see that 1 apple will simply cost $1.44. All you need to do is that. What would I divide $4.44 by? Well, there's 3 apples, so I simply need to divide by 3 to calculate the cost of 1 apple, and that's what you'd get. So far, that's a little bit cheaper than that. Now we'll do another one for this one. So there's 4 apples, so we'll divide it by 4, and you can calculate that, and you should get $1.46. So guys, compare the prices. Which one gives me the lowest cost overall? That one is the best buy because the cost per apple is the lowest, so it's the cheapest. For the key thing here, guys, is to calculate the cost of 1 unit or 1 object. Okay, so make sure you're good with the units here. Let's try the questions. Question 1, determine the best buy. So we've got different options here. So I want to calculate, like I did with the apple example, the cost per kilogram in this case, because in this case they give you kilograms, 10 kilograms for $60 and 15 kilograms for $75, etc. So let's try and give it a shot. So it's $60 for 10 kilograms. So how much would it be for 1 kilogram? Simply divide it by 10. So 60 divided by 10, that gives you $6 per kilogram. So that's the cost of 1 kilogram. Now here, do the same thing. 75 divided by 15 kilograms, and you should get $5 per kilogram. Same thing, 140 divided by 20, which is $7, and 200 divided by 25, and that will give you 8. So compare the prices. These are all the prices per 1 kilogram. Which one is the lowest? Must be B. $5 per kilogram is the lowest, so I should probably go for this option here because I can get a much more better bargain. Okay, so that's the idea. How simple is that? Question 2. Again, the same thing, but this time it says 2 centimeters for $6.88. So it could be the length of a string or length of like a beaded bracelet, or it could be anything that charges per centimeter. So for 2 centimeters, it's $6.80. 3.5 centimeters is that, etc. So let's again calculate the cost per centimeter, per 1 centimeter. So for the first one, I'll divide it by 2 centimeters. So the $6.80 divided by 2, and you should get $3.40 per 1 centimeter. Same thing, divide the price by the number of units. So divide it by 3.5 centimeters, which gives you something like this. Just calculate it using your calculator. This one, 14 divided by 4, that gives you $3.50. And the last one, simply divide the price by the number of units we have and get $3.80 per 1 centimeter. So now that I put all of them per 1 centimeter, which one gives me the lowest price? Compare, and you can see that B again is the lowest price. So this would be my cheapest option. So I would go for the deal B. Question 3, a similar thing, but this time it's 2 liters, 500 milliliters. It's got liquid, so probably like a volume of something. So liters for $13.40. So it's 2 liters. So to get the price of 1 liter, I'd simply divide it by 2 and get $6.70. Okay. Now this time it's a little bit different because in the previous 2 questions, all of these units were the same. All of them were centimeters or kilometers. They were all the same. But in this case, we have liters, milliliters, centiliters, and liters. So they're different units. But remember, guys, we have to put it in the same units. Okay, so in this case, you don't simply divide 312 by 500. Do not do that. Okay. We ask ourselves, see, for the first one, we're trying to find the cost per 1 liter. So let's try to do the same thing for here. I want to find the cost per 1 liter for B. So how many milliliters in a liter, guys? You should be very, very good at this because that's when we've done conversion. So we know that there's 1,000 milliliters in 1 liter. So in this case, I would convert 500 milliliters into 0.5 liters. So you simply divide that by 1,000. So now it's in litres. So it's for 0.5 litres, it would cost you $3.12. So to get the cost of 1 litre, would simply divide $3.12 by the 0.5. And then you get that. Okay, so just extra little steps there, just converting the units to the same one as the one above. So this time, centilitres. We know that centi means 100. So 750 would simply be 7.5. Okay, again, you should be very good at this. So I divided the 750 by 100 and got 7.5. So you divide your price by the number of units in litres. So to get the cost of 1 litre, simply divide that and get this. And the last one's already in litres, so I don't have to convert anything. But again, I want the cost of 1 litre, so divide your price by your number of units and get $6.60. Now that we've put it all in per 1 litre, look at the costs and compare. Which one is the lowest? Well, I can clearly see that C is the lowest, so this is my best buy. And that is the answer, so comparing should be very easy. Alright, the same thing. This time we're talking about bottles, maybe like Coke bottles, wine bottles, but it's talking about bottles. 2 bottles cost $11.40, 5 cost for this much, blah, blah, blah. There's different deals for a number of wines. I want to find the cost of 1 bottle so I can compare the prices. So the first one, I'll divide the $11.40 by 2, which gets you $5.70. So that's the cost of 1 bottle. This one, I'll divide it by 5 to get $5.55. This one, 39 divided by 7, that. And this one, it's a bit different. It says 10 bottles for $6.50, and we also get 1 free. Okay, so if you buy 10 bottles, you get 1 extra bottle. So you're basically getting 11 bottles. So in this case, I'd divide it by 11. So $6.50 divided by 11, that gives you $5.50. Make sure you understand what that means before you compare the prices. So now that we've got the cost of 1 bottle, what is the lowest price that we can get from each deal? Well, you can clearly see that D is giving us the lowest price per 1 bottle, so that will be our best buy. So I would probably go for the option D and buy that because that gives me the lowest price per bottle. Question 5. Paul wants to buy 2 toys for his 2 sons. Toys are advertised for sale at $95 per toy, or buy 3 toys and get 1 free. So there's little deals that the shop gives them. Now, which option should Paul make? You can see that the cost of 1 toy is $95, but there's a little deal going on. Buy 3 toys and get 1 free. So you can get 4 toys for the price of 3 basically. Which option should Paul make? Now, I know a lot of you will just start off by comparing the prices like we did in the previous few questions, but look what the buyer actually wants. What does the buyer want? Assuming that he's not a person that the people negotiate very well with. Maybe he's not a very negotiable person. If he strictly wants to buy just 2 toys, what would be the better option, guys? Well, I'm going to say that Paul should purchase 2 toys at $95 per toy because as only 2 toys are needed. We only need 2 toys. We don't need 4 toys. He only has 2 children probably. Well, it says 2 sons. If he buys 4, it's a bit of a waste of money, although the cost per toy would be cheaper. So the cost per toy could be cheaper, but because he only strictly needs 2 toys, just buying 2 toys at the cost of $95 each would be just cheaper overall. So that's the idea here, guys. So don't go ahead and do what we did in the previous 2 questions. Potatoes are sold in 3 kilogram bags for $4.20 and 10 kilogram bags for $14.20. Find the maximum price at which a 5 kilogram bag should be sold is to be best buy by 10%. So let's see what we're going to be doing. Now we're looking at potatoes, and you can see that they're sold, and they're not just sold per kilogram. This one is sold in 3 kilogram bags and 10 kilogram bags. Now we want to find the cost of the 5 kilogram bag. So what I'm going to do is find the cost of 1 kilogram for each of these. So in the first one, the 3 kilogram bag that costs $4.20, I'll simply divide it by 3 to find the cost of 1 kilogram. And that would get you $1.40. And for this one, $14.20 for 10 kilograms, we simply divide it by 10 and get $1.42 for the cost of 1 kilogram of potatoes. So you can clearly see that this one is the better buy. So I can say that one, 3 kilogram bag is the best buy, I would probably go for the 3 kilogram one. You can see that we want to purchase 5 kilogram bag. I'll simply multiply by 5, but see what I'm doing now. The question says best buy by 10%. We want it to be the best buy by 10%. We want a 10% of a discount when I purchase 5 kilogram bag. That's what it means here. So once I purchase the 5 kilogram bag, I want to have a 10% advantage than just getting the cost of 1 kilogram according to this price here. So according to this price, if I multiply by 5, this will give me the cost of a normal 5 kilogram bag according to this one. But because I want a 10% advantage, benefit, I simply multiply by 0.9. Or you can multiply by 10% and subtract it from that value, but we're used to this method now, which is much quicker, so I want you to get into a habit of this. Times by 90%, or 0.9 as a decimal, and that will get you 630. Okay, so the 5 kilogram bag would cost you this with an extra 10% benefit. Okay?